Kai reached 20 on a Sunday morning, in the back room of Han's tea shop, with rain ticking softly against the roof. The morning began without ceremony. Lena swept the front room. Mina sorted notes into 3 piles with labels only she understood. Ryan arrived with steamed buns and the solemn announcement that breakfast was strategy. Kai sat on the cushion across from Han and tried not to think about the number 19 waiting beneath his skin like an unfinished sentence. It did not feel like triumph. That surprised him. He had imagined thresholds as bright lines, something clean and undeniable, maybe even something that would make the system feel less like a strange machine bolted to his life. Instead, the approach to 20 felt quiet and uncomfortable. His breath found the rhythm. The ember gathered. Nothing in him celebrated. Something prepared. His breath caught halfway through the final cycle. The ember tightened, then opened, not outward in a blaze but inward, like a lock turning somewhere behind his ribs. Heat moved through him in a slow ring and settled into his bones. For one suspended moment, the whole room seemed to listen, the candle, the kettle, the old floorboards, Han's hand resting near the teacup. Kai heard rain gather at the eaves and fall in a heavier line outside the back door. He heard Ryan stop chewing. He heard Mina's pencil pause above paper. The world did not become larger. It became more precise. Every small sound had a place, and beneath them all the thread toward the ruins tightened with patient certainty. The system appeared without fanfare. Body tempering stage 2, Chi 20 of 30 threshold achieved. Path to stage 3 available. External resonance required. Recommendation, do not attempt alone. Kai stared at the last line until the letters blurred. A month ago, a new path opening would have sounded like escape from weakness. Now the warning carried more weight than the promise. External resonance required meant the ruins. Do not attempt alone meant the system had learned, or he had learned how to listen to the part of it that wanted him alive. Neither possibility felt simple. Han did not ask what he saw. Tell me exactly. So Kai did. The threshold. The path. The external resonance. The way the ruins pulled at him now, not loudly but steadily, like a thread tied around his chest. He included the part he wanted to hide, the wanting. He told them that some part of him felt relief at having a reason to go back. He told them that reaching 20 made the fence seem less like a boundary and more like a delay. He expected Lena to scold him. Instead she nodded once, as if honesty had arrived late but still counted. Mina was quiet through the whole explanation. She sat cross-legged on the floor with her notebook open but did not write, which told Kai how seriously she was listening. Ryan leaned against the wall, arms folded, fighting the urge to turn the moment into a challenge. It says not alone, Mina said at last. I know. Do you agree with it? Kai's first answer rose fast, yes, because he had promised. His second answer was slower and truer. I want to go alone. That scares me enough to know I shouldn't. The room held still after he said it. Kai felt heat climb his neck, but he did not take the words back. Wanting did not become harmless because he admitted it. It became visible. Mina looked down at her notebook, then closed it. Ryan pushed away from the wall as if he had been bracing for a different answer. Ryan's eyebrows lifted. That might be the smartest thing you've said since this started. Lena, who had been sorting tins by the shelf, gave him a look. Compliment, Ryan said quickly. That was a compliment. Han poured tea for everyone and set the cups in a neat row. Then we do not rush the door. We prepare to stand in front of it without being pushed through. He slid one cup toward Kai last. The tea was too hot to drink. Kai wrapped his hands around it anyway. The image helped more than he expected, a door, not a finish line. A door could be studied. A door could remain closed. A door did not become wise simply because it opened. They spent the morning planning a visit to the ruins with the seriousness of a school trip and the caution of a burglary. Mina marked the safest public routes and the times when foot traffic thinned but did not vanish. Ryan took the role of lookout with more pride than Kai thought the word deserved. Lena made them repeat the emergency signals until even Ryan stopped joking. The plan grew in practical layers. Arrival time. Exit route. Secondary exit if North River watchers appeared. Words for stop, leave, and split without saying any of them plainly. Mina made a checklist and then a shorter version because Lena said frightened people did not read essays. Ryan argued that he could remember the long version. Mina asked him what the third item was. He looked injured by the test and accepted the shorter list. They also chose what not to bring. No weapons that would turn a cautious visit into a charge if anyone searched them. No school bags full of incriminating notes. No phones unlocked, no loose papers with names, no dramatic supplies Ryan insisted were basic preparedness. The final kit looked almost disappointingly ordinary: umbrellas, a flashlight, Mina's smallest notebook, hands-folded map, and enough coins for the train. No one called it a mission. Han refused the word. A mission makes children dramatic, he said. This is an assessment. Kai appreciated the correction more than he wanted to admit. Mission made his blood rise. Assessment made him think of clipboards, routes, and leaving with information rather than glory. The difference was not glamorous. That was the point. That's much less exciting, Ryan muttered. If you want us to keep making more stories like this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Azure Inkblade. Now, back to the chapter. Good. The assessment would happen at dusk, not midnight. They would not climb the fence unless the area was clear. They would not touch the central slab until Mina documented the visible changes. Kai would keep Veiled Flame active for as long as he could, and if it broke, they would leave. No argument, no heroics. Lena added one more rule: if Kai stopped answering ordinary questions, they would leave. Not system questions. Not spiritual questions. Ordinary ones. Name the street. Name the weather. Name what Ryan had for breakfast. People vanish into big moments by forgetting small ones, she said. Kai did not like the rule, which told him it belonged on the list. Kai repeated the rule back. He meant it. Mostly. At school the next day, ordinary life resisted the plan with small, irritating hands. Homework existed. Teachers asked questions. A poster for the Spring Arts Showcase appeared near the office, bright and cheerful in a way that felt personally insulting. Mina answered a question in history and was wrong because she had been reading about underground water channels instead of the assigned chapter. Ryan laughed, then got the next question wrong out of solidarity or ignorance. Possibly both. Kai nearly answered a math problem with the time they were supposed to meet Han. He caught himself just before speaking and pretended to cough. The teacher frowned. Mina kicked his ankle under the desk, not hard, just enough to return him to the room. Ryan whispered, "Assessment," in a voice so solemn it sounded like a funeral for common sense. The normal mistakes helped. They reminded Kai that the world had not narrowed to stones and men in tailored coats, no matter how loudly fear insisted. Normal life was stubborn. It demanded worksheets, lunch money, clean uniforms, and apologies when Ryan knocked someone's pencil case off a desk with his elbow. Kai found himself grateful for its rudeness. Fear wanted reverence. Ordinary life kept interrupting with chores. After final bell, Kai took the long way to the meeting point and forced himself not to count every step as a countdown. A vendor was packing oranges into crates. Two children in rain boots jumped in a gutter puddle until their grandmother scolded them. A bus sighed open at the curb and released a crowd of tired office workers. The city did not know he had reached 20. That was comforting. That was terrifying. By late afternoon, the rain had stopped. The city smelled of wet concrete and leaves. They met on two streets from the ruins, where the old park path curved behind a row of closed food stalls. He wore an ordinary jacket and carried a folded umbrella. If anyone looked at him, they would see a tired shop owner walking students home. Mina arrived first, because Mina considered early a moral category. Ryan came second and immediately pretended he had not been scanning the street behind him. Kai arrived last with veiled flame already folded around the ember, each breath measured against the pull in his chest. Lena stepped from the shadow of a shuttered stall so quietly that Ryan nearly dropped the flashlight he had sworn he did not need. Only Lena looked dangerous, and even that was quiet. "One pass," Han said. "No improvising." Ryan opened his mouth. Mina pointed at him without looking. "No." He closed it. Kai felt the thread in his chest pull as the fence came into view. The ruins looked almost plain in the gray light: slabs, weeds, warning signs, old stone damp from rain. Then he breathed through veiled flame and saw the faint glow under the cracks, patient and watchful. The glow did not appear all at once. It gathered when he stopped trying to stare it into clarity. Lines under the wet stone. A pulse beneath the central slab. A dim answering shimmer near the old drainage channel Mina had marked on her map. Kai kept his hands in his pockets and named the ordinary things first. Fence. Mud. Sign. Ryan's ridiculous shoes. The pull remained, but it did not own the whole of him. The system whispered. External resonance detected. Stage 3 path responsive. Proceed with caution. Not begin. Not accept. Proceed. For the first time since the system had entered his life, Kai felt grateful for a word that slowed him down. Proceed meant movement with attention. It did not promise reward. It did not flatter him. It left room for stopping. Kai let that room exist inside him and felt veiled flame hold. They did not cross the fence that evening. Mina took notes from the public side. Han watched the street. Lena watched the watchers. Ryan pretended to be bored and noticed more than he admitted. Kai stood with one hand in his pocket around the training stone and let the pull teach him its shape. The first lesson was direction. The pull strengthened near the south corner and thinned near the maintenance sign. The second was rhythm. It rose when Kai held his breath and softened when he exhaled slowly. The third was stranger. The ruins did not seem offended by being refused. They waited with the same patience as the museum stone, as if a delayed answer were still an answer. Mina recorded each change without asking him to interpret it too quickly. Han made him step back twice and describe the street behind them before returning to the fence. Lena moved once, only a few paces, and a man across the road suddenly found a reason to keep walking. Ryan saw that too. His grin vanished, then returned as a lazy mask for anyone who might be watching. It was not a command. It was an invitation. Invitations could be declined. Invitations could be answered later, with witnesses, after checking the room and reading the fine print. Kai looked through the fence at the damp stones and felt the wanting in him stand beside the caution instead of trampling it. That difference mattered.